we're going to begin here with the outbreak of a mystery virus in China.
The coronavirus spreads across national borders, raising fears about its economic impact.
Now, some credit card companies are slashing limits, even canceling cards without you even knowing about it.
People have suffered, have lost their lives. People are going to lose their livelihoods. People might lose their homes. I mean, it's really tragic.
Millions of people could be out of a job if they aren't already very soon.
That unemployment could touch 20%.
A global recession, perhaps of record dimensions, is a near certainty.
This is only the beginning. And unless you do something about it, before it's too late, your financial future is in grave danger. Because these recent events were only the first dominoes to fall in a very long chain. You know what happens next, but it's not enough just to know it's coming. No, the only thing that can save you this time is knowing how to stop it. I don't know how you got here, but consider yourself lucky you did, because you just landed on the only page on the entire internet that dares to expose the truth. The truth they are making sure no one is talking about how using their own system against them can keep your family financially safe in a crisis. The truth about why 61% of Americans can't come up with $1,000 in an emergency. Could you? What about 2? If not, then watching this short presentation to the very end will no doubt be the smartest move you've ever made for your financial future. Let me be clear. This has absolutely nothing to do with stocks, bonds, mutual funds, 401ks, or any other kind of investment, because the markets can't save you now, but this can. Because I'm about to show you how, using a little-known credit score loophole found within the consumer credit laws, thousands of people are getting brand new credit lines of $4,000, $10,000, even $25,000 to use their safety net in tough times, even if they started with low scores. And how others have used the same loophole to raise their credit scores into the 700, even 800 range and higher, with some even getting new cars, homes, trucks, boats, and more at rates normally reserved for only the top 1%. And they're all doing this while protecting themselves and their families' futures from the fallout of this financial storm. But the best part is, because you found your way here today, I'm going to show you, in as little as 5 minutes from now, you, yes, you, can start using this credit loophole too. So pay careful attention, because there's no time to take notes. As these world events rapidly unfold in real time, it's becoming clear they will affect our society for months and years to come. In the blink of an eye, the world just changed. Just like that. And this is the only calm before the storm. The people who survive these uncertain times financially will be in a position to thrive in this new era. But the sad truth is, many will not. Many will lose their jobs. Many will lose their cars and homes. Some will even lose their lives. I know you're here right now because you need answers. Maybe you're scared, and that's okay. It doesn't make you weak. It makes you smart. Because whether you know it or not, just being here right now gives you a leg up on everyone else who hasn't woken up to the truth yet. And the moves you make right now will mean the difference between protecting yourself and your family's financial future, or standing aside and watching it ruined for the next 7 to 10 years. And it can help you dodge the screaming freight train bearing down on all of us. A recession that could bankrupt all but the wealthy 1% by the time it's over. Most don't see it coming, which is why I created this video for you to open your eyes to a solution that's already helping thousands of others to eliminate the crushing anxiety that comes along with not being financially prepared for what's about to happen. You see, at the very core of each and every one of our financial lives lies an important 3-digit number, a number that carries the power to make or break you financially, in good times, and more importantly, in bad. You get assigned this number early on, and it follows you around for the rest of your life. When it's great, your life is great. You never have to worry about an emergency where you have to come up with quick money. You never have to worry whether you can buy the things you want and need. You never have to worry about your financial security. But when this 3-digit number is low, it wreaks havoc on every part of your life. It restricts your ability to move, to borrow, holding you back from buying the things you want and need. You can't escape it, and no one can save you from it. No one but you. The government is handing out trillions of dollars. Most people think this will help them. But you know who's first in line to get their slice of that $1 trillion pie? Not you and me. We, the people, don't get bailed out. We're at the back of the line. We don't stand a chance. It's not for us. It's for them. Where do you think the money from all those checks will go? The banks, the billion-dollar corporations, the greedy politicians to buy their election seats, Even if the funds do make a quick stop in your bank account first, because unless you've been living under a rock and haven't noticed, this game is rigged against us. In 2008, it was all about saving them. And in 2020, it's about saving them again. It's always been about them. But this video, this is all about you. Saving you and your family from the worst that's yet to come. And what you can do right now to not only survive through these hard times, but if you pay close attention and simply do what I'm about to show you, you will thrive in ways you've never imagined before. And there isn't a single thing any of them can do to stop you. Now, if you haven't figured it out yet, that 3-digit number we talked about before is your credit score. This important number can become your greatest protection from the fallout that's coming, no matter how high or low it is right now. And there's a reason why nobody is talking about this yet. You won't see it on CNN or Fox News or on Facebook, Twitter, or YouTube because the media only cares about one thing. That thing that gets them the most eyeballs and ad clicks, scaring the hell out of you, feeding your fear instead of solutions, and keeping you locked into that cycle of fear for as long as they possibly can. Which is why I'm doing everything in my power to get this message out to as many people as possible, as fast as I possibly can. Who am I? My name's Jay Hannon, and 3 years ago, I made a horrible mistake. After 5 years working deep inside the credit industry, I blew the whistle on one of the biggest corruption scandals in the history of consumer finance. But I had no idea at the time it would set in motion a chain reaction that would wind up helping more than 500,000 Americans learn how to build their credit, raise their scores, and rapidly transform their financial lives for the better, including you, all while protecting yourself in good and bad economic times. So then what was my big mistake? Well, you see, with the world turning upside down right now, right before our eyes, I realized I had failed to get this important message out to nearly enough people fast enough. And now I'm afraid it took me too long to get this out to every American who needs it. Heck, it didn't even make it to you until just now. And I'm hoping and praying as you sit there watching this, it's not already too late. Because when the news started coming out about the virus and markets started crashing, I came to a horrifying realization. If you're like most Americans who may be laid off or thrown into a very bad financial situation very soon, or if you're already struggling financially, as much as it pains me to tell you, it's about to get much worse. Worse than anyone could ever prepare for. Because what 99% of people don't realize is experts are calling this the worst economic collapse in history. And it's starting right now. See, as far as we know, the virus started in China. And China manufactures the products for millions of businesses in the US and all around the world. When China's quarantine lockdown happened, their factories shut down, so they couldn't produce anything. This is called a supply shock, when there's demand for products, but the supply chain breaks all of a sudden. The decreased production causes major shortages for any business who relies on these factories to make their products. A supply shock alone can cause a recession. But what's even worse is something called demand shock. Because when businesses lose revenue by not having product to sell, workers lose their jobs, so their income evaporates. And when this happens at mass scale, which is starting to happen right now, people no longer have the money to buy the things they want and need. A demand shock can also trigger a recession all by itself. And a recession caused by either one of these events can take years to recover from, which is why the situation we have before us right now is so dire and dangerous, like nothing that has ever happened before. Because right now, a supply shock and a demand shock are happening at the exact same time. And the trouble has only just begun. Do you see why panic is now setting in? But what most people don't even realize, the most powerful thing any American, young or old, rich or poor, can do right now to protect themselves from the ticking time bomb about to go off is raising your credit scores as high as possible, as fast as possible, right now. And today, I'm going to show you how to do it, free. This one single move could save your financial future. Just by doing it, you give yourself a massive advantage. Because most people right now are sitting in their homes in shock, frozen with fear, waiting for someone, anyone to swoop in and save them. But not you. You are here, which tells me two things. One, you're a fighter. You know you need a solution to this problem ASAP, and you're ready to do something about it. And two, you know you need to take action right now if you want to beat the clock or risk destroying your family's financial future for the next decade. I don't want that to happen. And of course, you don't either. But as of now, no one knows how bad things will really get. Some are saying this crisis could become bigger than the Great Depression. So, as you can imagine, the information you're about to hear is life and death information for the financial future of you and your family. But I'm going to let you in on a little secret. If you just do what I'm about to show you, if you use this credit loophole right away, you can soon be in a protected position with the credit and knowledge to survive and thrive through this financial massacre, a crisis that will affect the lives of every single American for months and years to come. But before I show you the loophole that's now helping thousands of people raise their scores, get new credit, and protect themselves in an emergency, first we need to consider a few startling facts happening in the world around us. Fact number 1, our financial lives are in great danger. A danger none of us have ever faced before. Fact number 2, the news and world events are not getting better fast enough. Fact number 3, you can still save yourself and your family.
It's clear to me you're committed to finally waking up from this horrible credit nightmare. I'm going to share with you a secret so powerful, your credit will never have to be a problem for you, ever again, no matter how bad your history is. You see, after I escaped the credit industry, I got a job in sales working for an online e-commerce company. A few months after I started there, the company flew me out to a conference in San Diego, California. One night while I was there, I got to talk with another sales rep at the hotel lobby bar. His name was Scott Hilton. And as we were there chatting and having a few drinks, the topic of my previous job came up. We were a bit tipsy now, and Scott started telling me something he probably wouldn't normally tell a total stranger. What I didn't know at the time was that this very conversation would change both our lives and the lives of thousands of others forever, including yours. He told me the story of how he had moved from Seattle to Hollywood with the hopes of becoming an actor. He went to auditions all day, took acting classes at night, but it never worked out as he planned. He couldn't land a role. And during this time, he ran out of money. He was living on his credit cards. So he was forced to give up his dream of becoming an actor and get the sales job. The problem was, when the bills came due, there wasn't enough money to pay off the balances he had racked up. So he wound up getting deep in debt, and many of his accounts had gone to collections. He was living paycheck to paycheck and trying to pay everything off, but the balances just weren't going down no matter what he tried. Every time he made a payment, they'd pile on more fees and interest charges. All of the hidden fees that were originally buried in small print were now larger than life. It was literally killing him to work so hard and be under so much stress. His anxiety got to the point where he could barely even go out in public anymore because his nerves were so shot. Forced into taking all sorts of depression and anxiety medication, Scott was on the verge of a major breakdown. $52,000 in the hole, and every penny he made was being funneled to these billion-dollar banks who couldn't care less about him or his situation. They just wanted their money, and they wanted it now. These arrogant banksters making billions, just bleeding people like you, me, and Scott dry of all of our hard-earned cash, robbing us of our livelihoods, while they ride around in limousines wearing $3,000 suits, eating at fancy restaurants every night, all paid for by money yanked right out of our pockets and paychecks. And what do we get? What do we get for paying their way to living the high life? Harassing phone calls and letters threatening to freeze our assets, that's what. Night sweats wondering how we're going to stretch the paycheck to cover the rent this month. High blood pressure from all the frustration and stress. Constant arguments with our spouses over money. Our own private hell. That's what we get. And Scott had been pushed to the brink of a financial cliff and was about to throw himself over the edge. The pressure was just too much for him, having all this hanging over his head day after day. So he did the only thing he thought he could do. He went online and found a bankruptcy lawyer, and he had an appointment with him the following week. Wait, don't do that just yet, I told him. I felt awful. I knew his pain. I had talked to hundreds of working class people just like him over the years who were just trying to get by. And my cold, scripted answer to their pleas was, go get your checkbook. But when this opportunity presented itself, I knew it was the universe offering me a chance to redeem myself. I knew I must help Scott get out of this desperate situation his creditors had forced him into. I told him to call me when he got home from the conference, and I'd show him a safe and 100% legal credit secret almost no one who isn't in the credit industry knows that can raise your credit scores in less than 30 days without filing bankruptcy and ruining your credit for the next 10 years, paying an outrageous fee to some law office to handle your debts for you, putting your faith in some fly-by-night credit repair service who might even ruin your credit for life or even get you sued, talking to any creditors or collectors on the phone yourself, having to know anything about credit laws or anything having to do with them. I call it my smart money secret. And not only is it completely safe, but it's 100% legal. It has nothing to do with cheating, lying, or doing anything shady. And it's different than anything you've ever seen or tried before. I'm going to show you how you can use my secret for yourself to get rid of charge-offs, late payments, liens, judgments, score-crushing inquiries, even past bankruptcy, and raise your credit score so high you'll soon have letters filling your mailbox from companies begging to give you financing for anything you desire at rates lower than you've ever seen before. You see, this smart money secret is based on a loophole within how the credit system was designed. A loophole that can't ever be closed because it actually takes the fact that these credit companies are so big and so powerful and turns it around in your favor. And like I said, it's all 100% legal and ethical. Here's exactly how it works and why you've never heard of this before. Buried in the volumes upon volumes of laws within our legal system, there are two little known but very important federal regulations most people don't know about. They are the Fair Debt Collection Practices Act, FDCPA, and the Fair Credit Reporting Act, FCRA. These laws are hundreds and hundreds of pages long, all full of complicated, confusing legal mumbo-jumbo even a seasoned attorney could barely understand. But not long ago, some credit industry insiders discovered something shocking. A loophole within the laws which can allow you to eliminate your negatives permanently and raise your credit score faster and easier than ever. What was this loophole? Well, you see, what they found buried within the pages of these two laws is quite possibly the most powerful 11-word phrase ever spoken. These 11 words, when used in exactly the right way, activate a powerful credit protection mechanism that can instantly stop all the harassing phone calls and rapidly melt away all the bad marks on your report. All you have to do is use these 11 words correctly, and you can literally free yourself from the shackles of bad credit. No matter what you've heard about credit repair in the past, I can guarantee you it had nothing to do with these magical 11 words. Because until now, the secret was known only by a very small group of people on the inside, those who have seen behind the curtain of the credit industry. The best part is, anyone can use it, no matter how bad your credit is, even if you have liens, judgments, charge-offs, late payments, and even if you've had past bankruptcy. This is a proven legal loophole that can never be fixed. And these banks, credit card companies, and bureaus would do just about anything to keep this whole thing a secret. But all that ends today. Because, you see, about a week after I got back from the conference, Scott gave me a call and asked me to show him how all this worked. At first, he was skeptical, which I totally understood. We've all been told by so-called credit help experts they can fix our credit. That is, if you pay them a hefty fee. But the reality is, most of those companies are nothing but liars and scam artists. Many of them were exposed in the lawsuits filed by West Virginia and several other states against national law firms and attorneys engaged in debt settlement work. But you see, this smart money secret is nothing like that, and it's completely above board. So over the next 60 minutes on the phone, I laid out my method for Scott as he took down a few pages of notes. He was shocked at how simple it seemed, which made him even more skeptical. Just try it out, I told him. You're about to meet with a bankruptcy lawyer and ruin the next 10 years of your financial life. What have you got to lose? Well, he couldn't argue with that, so over the next 30 days, he did exactly as I told him. He kept me updated on his progress via email. Then one day, my phone rang. I cannot believe it. Sure enough, it was him, sounding happier than I'd ever heard him. I got 12 negative accounts completely removed, every single one of them. I can't believe it happened so fast. One company even sent me a $1,000 check and an apology letter. I was stunned. I knew this would work to get negatives removed. But a check and an apology? This was more powerful than I thought. Then he said, I just got my girlfriend started on this too. Her credit is even worse than mine. I told him to keep me updated and wished him luck. Then one morning I logged into my Facebook and I saw that Scott had added me as a friend and sent me a message. There wasn't any text, just this picture. It was Scott's girlfriend, Allison, the same one he told me had even worse credit than he did, proudly standing next to her brand new Range Rover and a brand new Maserati. I couldn't believe it. I called him up right away. I had to get the full story. Yeah, man, he said. I don't think you really know the power of that credit thing you showed me. Alice and I started using it, and it was working really well to remove all the negatives. Her score went from 588 to a whopping 781 in only 90 days. But seeing how well this worked, they decided, why not try their luck getting some new cars financed with their new squeaky clean credit? So they went to the dealership, and sure enough, it worked. They were able to get a 4.9 interest rate on a Tier 1 loan, and thanks to this loophole, they each bought the car of their dreams in the very same week. Upon hearing this, my jaw nearly dropped to the floor. I knew this secret was good, but I had no idea it had this kind of power. And I was amazed at not only how well it worked, but how fast it had worked for them. I mean, we're talking about a matter of only 12 weeks here. 588 to 781 was incredible. And from that, we learned this powerful smart money secret could not only clean up your past credit history, but this amazing secret can even enable you to start finally buying yourself the things you've always wanted. Finally treating yourself to the little luxuries in life. Giving yourself gifts you desire and deserve. The most important of these gifts being freedom. Freedom from harassing phone calls and the stress of being buried up to your eyeballs in debt you would never be able to pay off. Freedom to get the absolute best interest rates and the best credit terms on anything you buy. And finally becoming a member of the small elite group of people in this world who don't have to worry about crippling debt and who will never be a slave to the greedy, bottom-feeding banksters ever again. And before Scott and I hung up on the phone that day, he had said something that wound up being the very reason you are here watching this video right now. He said, Everyone who has bad credit or debt needs to learn this trick. And I knew he was right, which is why I recorded this presentation. For you. Because Scott and I have now joined forces and made it our life's mission to show as many people as possible how to finally take control of their credit, raise their scores higher than they've ever been before. Because by teaching this secret, we're taking the money out of their pockets and putting it back into yours, where it should have stayed all along. The only reason it didn't is because you never knew how. But that all ends today. I can't keep this video up long or I'll always be looking over my shoulder. But when Scott told me everyone had to see this, I knew he was right. And I knew we needed to be the ones responsible for making it happen. We had to get it out to the largest audience we possibly could. That's the only way it would make big enough impact.
We tested this out initially by sharing it with some of our friends and family members. Then we decided to send it to a few close friends on Facebook who tried it out right away. And what happened next was something we never would have ever even dreamed possible. First, an email came in from a woman named Anne sharing her success story and thanking us. Then another. Then another. And before long, my inbox was overflowing with people who were now using these credit secrets to improve their credit scores, with many of them completely reversing their negative financial situations. Everything from buying new cars and new homes to people getting approved for new low-interest loans and lines of credit. Some had even raised their scores past the mythical 800 level just by using what's inside this little book. We couldn't believe it. We had to pinch ourselves to make sure we weren't dreaming. And just when we thought things couldn't get any better, something amazing happened. And it was this one thing that wound up being responsible for a tidal wave of success stories to come flooding in from thousands of people all across the country. What was this spark that lit the fire? Well, you see, credit industry expert John Alzheimer got a hold of a copy and read it. Now, John knows credit. He's worked for major credit companies like FICO and Equifax. And today, when a credit industry news story breaks, the biggest news outlets call him first to get his take. So, when John got his hands on credit secrets, we were all a little nervous. We all knew how well it was working, but what would an expert with over 26 years in the credit industry have to say about it? Thankfully, our fear quickly turned to excitement. Because not only did John put his blessing on the book, he was so impressed with it. A short time later, he wound up taking it with him on national television in his once-in-a-lifetime interview with the legendary Larry King.
John, you have found this little book, Credit Secrets, that you believe has the power to really turn people's financial lives around.
I have.
And you're not the author of the book.
I am not, Larry.
Well, then why would you appear on this show talking about a book you didn't write?
Larry, it's simple. Credit has been my career, almost 26 years. I know how having bad credit can affect your family, your marriage, your health, and I want people to get the help that they need inexpensively and in a way that they can really use it for great results. When I sat down and read Credit Secrets, I felt it was the answer to most people's problems. It's so simple that with a little bit of work and perseverance, anybody can do it, and I have seen the results. The steps are easy for anyone to follow. No complicated credit jargon. Look, let me be clear. It takes some effort, but so little compared to the results that so many people are going to receive. It is filled with important information that you can put to use immediately and get results. It gives you all the templates you need to start the process to improve your credit. And the really great thing is you can easily do this all by yourself.
We are so humbled and grateful to John for all of his kind words. And I know when you try this for yourself, you're going to be shocked by the results you experience.
All by sending out just a few magic letters in the mail. Letters we will flat out give you. You just apply the stamp and lick the envelope, and the rest is pure magic. This is a done-for-you set of tested and proven letters you'll send to the people we tell you to remove your negatives and raise your credit score. They've already been written for you and already contain the special 11-word phrase we talked about earlier, so you never have to worry about what to say. All you have to do is fill in the blanks, like your name, and send them out. Within weeks, you'll begin to see the negatives dropping off your credit report and watching your scores rise. These letters have been used to successfully remove charge-offs, late payments, delinquent lines of credit, tax liens, judgments, student loans, and even a past bankruptcy. These priceless letters are not available for sale anywhere, but today you get them absolutely free when you grab access. But that's not all. You see, because I want you to get every ounce of help and support you need when using this revolutionary proven credit solution, you'll have the option of being invited to join our private Facebook group. This group is active and full of members just like you who are using Credit Secrets to fix their credit and learning what it's like for the first time in their lives to be completely free. Inside, you'll be supported by people just like you who have already raised their scores by up to 165 points in 30 days and cleaned up their credit for good. You can read their stories and chat with them directly while getting help with your own current situation. Then each week, you'll receive new access to the most powerful, safe, and legal money and credit hacks available anywhere, including simple tricks on how to live like a millionaire on a $1,000 budget. These amazing new money hacks include how to get out of check systems so you can have a bank account again, the easiest, fastest way to get rid of a tax lien, repossession, and even a past bankruptcy, how to increase your purchasing power by up to 2,100%, how to finance 2 of your dream cars at the same time, how to reduce your car insurance payment by up to 54%, how to make sure you avoid fake credit report companies that give you fake scores, how to get inquiries removed from your credit history. Normally, every time your credit is checked, your score goes down, but not anymore. How to get negative credit marks removed and even get paid for your troubles. Scott himself received a $1,000 check and an apology letter from one of his creditors. How to get 3 brand new good credit lines in one day. How to manage all of your new credit cards and loans after you use my secret to get the negatives removed. Hint, certain types of cards are much better for your score, and the amount you pay each month greatly affects your score as well. How to get a check from me to you for simply referring a friend or family member, and much, much more. Access to the Smart Money Clubs for people who are looking to live the good life on a shoestring budget and finally experience for themselves all the finer things in life that previously only wealthy people could do. You get all this and more when you order right now. So now you may be wondering, what's the catch, Jay? I realize opportunities like this don't come around every day, and when they do, there's usually a catch. So I don't blame you if you think this offer is too good to be true. But I'm happy to tell you there's absolutely no catch, no obligation, and no risk to you whatsoever. And to prove it to you and show you how confident I am this system will work for you, I'd like to offer you my double guarantee promise. First, try the secret out for 30 days, absolutely risk-free. Use it to remove as many negatives on your credit report as you want. If you find for any reason, or no reason at all, that this doesn't work exactly as I described, all you have to do is send me an email, and I will personally see it to you. You're refunded every single penny of your investment. No questions asked. But since I want to make this a complete no-brainer and make absolutely sure you don't miss out on this amazing offer, I'd like to do something crazy and take this guarantee a step further. Here's what I'm going to do. Grab your copy today. If in 90 days from now you can show me you've used what's inside and haven't removed at least 3 negative marks from your credit report and raised your credit score by at least 70 points, I'll give you double your money back. You read that right. Who else is willing to put their money where their mouth is like that? No one. But that's just how certain I am this will work for you. Now, the price here isn't important because when you think about the value of living your life with a peace of mind and discovering the secrets to living a life of wealth and abundance without having to increase your income, well, can you really put a dollar value on that? But before I let you in, you have to promise me one thing. You see, this method works, and it works well. It works so well, in fact, that if someone were to use it in an unethical way, they could technically use it, max out a bunch of new cards, never pay them, use it again, and so forth. I want you to know right now, I absolutely 100% do not approve of this. If your intention is to use this system to purposefully defraud the credit companies by wiping debts off your credit report and then opening up new credit cards and loans that you can't pay back, and simply because you know you can use my secret to wipe them away again, that is not okay with me. If that's the case, then you could just go ahead and click the back button on your browser right now. I'm very serious about this. You must agree you will use this powerful method only for good, not evil. This is all about giving you a second chance. If that sounds fair to you, then you can get in right now and grab instant access for just $39 today. That's all it takes for you to be on your way to beating the credit companies at their own game and finally freeing yourself from the stress of negative credit. For less than the cost of a dinner for 2, you can be on your way to the financial stability you've always wanted. Holding your head up high as a proud member of the 720 Plus Club and being treated like royalty every time you want to finance something new for yourself, or when you go out to dinner and pay for it with your new Platinum credit card. But listen, you need to act right now if you don't want to miss out on this once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. Now that you know the truth about why you're in the situation you're in and how you can get out of it, it's your responsibility to make it happen. We've done our part by giving you the fastest, easiest, legal, and proven way to get out of it. All you have to do is follow the instructions and watch your credit score and confidence rise. Chances are you had no control over how you got into this situation in the first place, but now you finally have control of how to get out. Because right now, you have 2 choices in front of you. 1, you can forget everything I just told you. You can leave this page hoping somehow, some way those calls will stop and your debts will be magically erased. Go on doing the same thing you've been doing and ignoring the problem until it's too late. Or Number 2, you can step inside, grab My Credit Secret. Take the first step toward a new life you truly deserve. One where you have no debts, no guilt, where no one is calling and harassing you to pay your bills. A life where nothing you want has to be out of your reach ever again. Now, thanks to Credit Secrets, your past no longer has to dictate your future. So grab your key and unlock the door to a life you've always wanted right now while you still can. Right now, below this video, you will see a big button. Click that button, and you'll be taken to a secure page where you can complete your order and get instant access. You don't have to wait for anything in the mail. You'll get access right away, and your information is 100% secure. You can be on your way to fixing your credit in less than 5 minutes from right now, and watching those negative credit marks disappear in just weeks from today. Grab your copy and start finally living the kind of life you deserve for all your hard work, instead of flushing all your paychecks down that black hole of interest and finance fees. This has already worked for others like you, and it can work for you too, but only if you let it. Click the button below right now and get started. After all, if I'm wrong, you're out a few minutes of your time and a quick email to cancel. But what if I'm right? I'd like to thank you for watching this presentation, and I look forward to speaking with you personally in just a few moments inside our special members-only Facebook group. Be sure to reach out and say hello. You'll be greeted by me, Scott, Allison, and many other friendly folks who have already erased their bad credit. Click on the button now. Take the first step toward your brand new life of financial freedom. Don't wait. Do it right now. You'll be glad you did.